lost but time. And, the viewer can turn it off and move on if they want to. But at the time, it was a la carte programming, $20 a pop for DVD. What was a DVD? What's a DVD? Yeah, right. DVDs used to be these things we played programming on. So, yeah, I guess it was just a matter of principle at the time.
Sean, I want to get a little serious again. One thing I was taken aback about on last Monday's show on Click This, that people were actually attacking Kevin Nash after the loss of his son. Doesn't that in itself want to make you pull out of this bullshit?
If not for the 500-to-1 ratio of people sharing stories about having lost their son and thanking Kevin for having the courage, people who donated to Autism Speaks or one of the other autism charities because Kevin's son was autistic, then yes, Monty, I might have. But the ratio was still, I called it a speed bump. When I would scroll down in either YouTube seems to be a citadel for the soulless. So it was most often on like YouTube. But when I would scroll through Twitter or scroll through YouTube, a series of wonderful complimentary things. Then you hit the speed bump. Some anti-vax goofball who's going to use this as a platform for their uneducated opinion.
You can get away with that. You can get away with that on YouTube because if you went the other way, you would have just got us suspended for a fourth time.
What do you mean?
If you would have went on as an anti, I shouldn't even be saying this right now. If you went on as an anti-vaxxer, you would have got us suspended. It's that quick and that simple.
Oh, I understand.
So
okay.
being that you're pro-vaccination, and so is most of us, and we get that. But if you're if you have the opinion, Sean Oliver's simple opinion, you have got us suspended. We've been suspended for Missy Hyatt's vaccination thoughts, Greg Valentine thinking Donald Trump won the election.
The last election, right.
And who's Del Wilkes, God rest his soul, who was a very intelligent man, who had his political views, whether you believed in it or not.
He was pro-Republican, and they didn't like it. Yeah, they didn't like it.
Got us suspended for a third time, sorry.
Sean, I got to ask you, you're my favorite interviewer on YouTube, first of all, so again, thank you for coming on, but I got to ask you this question. At what point is it really the interviewer's responsibility? Should the interviewer be assassinated by whatever forum his show is going under because of a guest's opinion? Is that like a fuzzy? I know it's a tough question, but where's our rights as interviewers? Maybe you can help me with this.
It's funny. In the episode that's going to air this Monday, which would be the 31st of October, Halloween, I went through the YouTube monetization standards because we occasionally have programming that gets demonetized, and our very diligent YouTube guru Steve Kaufman has to go through the appeals process, and he always gets it restated. But we fall into those gaps where we lose some time, and time is money. So I went item by item with Kevin, and I said, let's see how much we have violated here.
Okay.
Let's see. In their words, let's take their advertiser-friendly standards, which is what they call it.
Gotcha.
And let's go through and see which each of these about the most we could admit to being guilty for is language, inappropriate language.
Of course, I got you.
So I guess that's why they were demonetizing some stuff. None of the other things we really hit. Okay. I think I jokingly said we hit all of them and put some examples there, but the heart of a lot of that wasn't. Well, to your point, though, what is an interviewer's responsibility? You see, YouTube functions.
I don't know, Sean. It's okay to go, so you raped that girl in 1972 and you threw her off a bridge. That doesn't get you suspended,
Correct.
But you have an opinion about
politics,
whatever
it may be that's controversial.
I mean,
well, I didn't even realize you're educating me on
Yeah.
the sensitivity
Yeah. This
of
is
that.
messed up.
We have touched on politics. We
Be
take
careful.
kind of a common sense approach. I suspect you guys
Well,
kind of have the
yeah,
same
we
views.
do.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but a perfect example: Kevin Nash is anti-Trump, which is fine.
That's yeah.
Kevin Nash is also, is it fair to say, anti-religion? Is that
He
fair?
he is not religious, but Kevin's a dichotomy. You know, Kevin
Gotcha.
will make fun of some of the Trump tards, but
Well,
then
he's also taken the time to make fun of religion, like Bill Maher has.
But again, it's somebody's.
But
he's also a gun owner.
What's
He's
that?
a gun owner.
There you go.
Yeah,
He's
sure.
a gun owner.
But my
And he
point
says he
is,
has an
as long as it
AR-15.
fits the agenda of today, you can say whatever you want. So for me, who believes in Jesus Christ, as much as I like Kevin Nash and I respect him, I don't respect his ideology or his anti-religion thoughts or his amusement of it. I just don't find it funny, which is fine. But again, if you don't read the agenda,
It's selective.
It's a problem. And I don't want to get too deep into this. That's the
Yeah.
only point I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you were to go on and be pro-Trump, you would have a problem on your channel.
Yeah.
It's possible. We haven't run into anything except the occasional demonetization,
Right.
which we usually get reversed.
Well, it's the reason I asked you, Sean, because basically we've gotten in trouble for our guests' opinions. We're getting
Right.
suspended over and over again for our guests' opinions. That's not America. It shouldn't be.
Well, when you appeal it, do you say that this is it's a form for expression? We're not advocating.
It's
we're
instantaneously.
interviewing.
So we get demonetized on certain videos too, and then we appeal it, and then it usually gets accepted. Same type of deal. And then in some reasons, we have a cable show too. The cable show has the exact same information on it, but they
Right.
won't accept that.
Right.
So there's a lot of BS going on. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it, but you know, being the respect that we have for you as being this guy, we just thought it was important that we heard your opinion on this deal.
Very much so.
Well, what I think is happening, and I'm not in any way condoning it or saying that there's justification for it, but political discourse, people disagreeing about politics, has been the cornerstone of programming for decades.
Yep.
From when they first started televising presidential debates in the 60s, up through magazine news style programming in the 70s, like 60
Radio,
Minutes and whatnot,
Bob Grant and such.
through the
radio.
80s, 90s.
Yep.
You could have Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, liberals debating, bringing up points. What has happened in the last 6 years is there's become a vile permission on the part of some extremists on both sides
Understood. Yep. Yep.
to personally attack,
Right.
belittle, cancel
Sure.
people that they don't agree with. Simply, they've done no personal harm.
Bingo.
They don't agree with my ideology.
Right.
So political discourse has now become personal conflict. And what does that bubble into? It bubbles into January 6th at the Capitol. It bubbles into things like this. So media sources are panicked.
Right.
Whereas at one time, you could have a kooky Missy Hyatt opinion. I don't know what she said on your show, but I know Missy, so I know it was kooky.
Right. You're on.
You could air that
Right.
as a counterpoint and debate it with her. Nowadays, the media says, oh my God, people are going to take to the streets. It's really become the mentality. So I think that they are hypersensitive. I think the media is hypersensitive to that kind of political disagreement because in this day and age, it has spawned so many irresponsible people who don't understand, hey, Chip, people disagree with you. And they have their reasons that they feel are as valid as yours.
Right.
And it doesn't give you the right to go after them as a person. You can attack the position. You can cite your evidence to the contrary. But going after the person, beyond the message to the person, has become acceptable, whether it's somebody trying to shit in Nancy Pelosi's desk because they don't like her policies, or going after someone on the street, as we saw, like random violence. So we're in an insane time now.
We are.
Where it's like a third world nation. It's a classless thing. And I've said this on the air on our show. The left and right have bounced off each other so fervently. They've gone around the world and they sit right next to each other. They behave almost the same. Both sides want people canceled. It's just different groups of people. If you disagree, or you do something that we deem as immoral, we will cancel you. Or on the other side of things, we will go after you. So that thought process, that demented thought process, lives in both extremes, who have bounced off each other and now live right next to each other. We're not happy with something, we'll go burn things down. Maybe it's the Capitol because we don't like an election result. Maybe it's a city because we don't like what a jury just said.
Right.
So I'll burn down a city.
Right.
They're acting the same. They've become one dysfunctional party of extremists. They just hate the opposite group.
Well said. Not to switch gears, but we might as well after that. But thank you for that answer, Sean.
And you thought this was going to be a fun, jokey interview, huh?
Right? Where's all the Virgil's penis questions?
Virgil's penis?
Oh, no, the Eric Sim penis questions are coming.
The Eric Sims penis questions?
He has one?
There you go. Kudo, bam.
Oh,